Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Bedford Board of Education meeting on this evening, December 18th, 2025. Just a reminder, visitors are always welcome at our board meetings. So that the meeting may proceed uninterrupted, please make sure you silence all electronic devices. Next, we will have roll call.
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Here.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Present.
Mr. Akins?
Here.
Ms. Macklin?
Here.
Ms. Carter?
Here. Thank you. Next, we will stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance. Thank you so much. Next, we will go to our acknowledgement of goals. That's 2.01. They are here. Please read those at your leisure. Next, we are on to 3.01, minutes from November 20th, 2025. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from November 20th, 2025, regular meeting?
Motion to approve minutes on November 20th, 2025. Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and second by Mrs. Macklin that we approve the minutes from the November 20th, 2025 meeting. Are there any questions, comments, revisions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We are now on to 4.01, our consent agenda. Do we have any question, or I'm sorry, can I have a motion to approve our consent agenda as presented?
Motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and second by Mrs. Macklin that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Are there any questions, comments?
Yeah, I have a question. Have we always had scorekeepers for the boys' basketball games? Okay. So this is just just for this particular season?
My question was related, as in, I know we've always had student scorekeepers, but what has changed that now we're paying them? Why are we now implementing? I mean, I think it's great, it's a great opportunity, but just inquiring as to why now we are paying students to scorekeep.
Thank you, JC.
Just pull that chair over.
And can you turn the microphone
Yeah,
on?
the mic's got to be on.
Because, I don't think it's new, but are you paying it out of a we're kind of cleaning up the process.
There we go. So in years past, in terms of scorekeepers, we've kind of always been able to maybe find someone who could do it. But in this case, I saw it as an opportunity, again, and always trying to stretch our kids and grow them. I saw this as an opportunity for kids to make money, responsibility, accountability, all of that. Trey, who's actually going to be keeping the score for varsity boys, he's doing it for the entire season. He manages the book, and the next step for me is to actually get him plugged into Max Prep so he can kind of take care of all of our stats. So it's a teachable moment and a on-the-job learning for him.
And what budget does this come out of? The athletic budget?
Yeah, it'd be the 300 fund.
Pardon?
The 300 fund, which is that athletics.
Great questions. Any additional questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We are now on to 5.01, where the audience may address the board. May I have someone read that for me, please?
Okay, visitors are always welcome to our board meeting. If you wish to address the board during the audience participation portion of this meeting, please complete the form, as you have, and submit it to the treasurer. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes. A maximum of 30 minutes will be permitted to public participation at each meeting.
They can't hear you.
No
I'm sorry.
person may speak twice until all who wish to speak have had the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
One moment.
Our first card is Ms. Manelski. Sorry if I mispronounced her name. It is to understand support between the super and teachers.
So this is kind of in follow-up to the last meeting where the audience was able to participate, and the interview that was completed afterwards, and this is directed at Ms. Johnson, and you had made the comment that you don't understand why your teachers voted a no confidence. If you're in constant communication with them, wouldn't you have known this?
Yep. Thank you. Do you have a address, an email to respond to?
Well, if she has no answer, there's no point in it.
Thank you for your question. I will share with you that I had a 2-hour meeting with BEA representatives, and we talked about if there were possibilities of any concerns. It was communicated to me that there was not a vote at that time. At that time, present was BEA's president, vice president, and labor relations consultant, myself, HR executive, and our board, one of our board attorneys. 2-hour meeting, and not only was it communicated to me that there would be a follow-up post stating that there would be some clarity to what was posted online in regards to the fact that administration had meetings. I don't think I've seen that post, but we have regular communications. For example, yesterday, we were supposed to have a QCF meeting. I think myself and Dr. Harrington logged into that, so there was no agenda, but it's in the contract that monthly we're supposed to have those meetings. But yeah, there was a 2-hour meeting. We asked for resolutions. There were no clarity other than the fact that it was communicated to me that times such as a convocation, I speak to the fact way too often that I give thanks to God for guiding me in this district. It was communicated to me that nobody else really wants to hear, that I'm very thankful for having 32 years in education in the district, and I'm blessed to continue to serve in such a capacity.
Okay.
But
and-
other than the specifics of that, that was only the specifics that myself and the rest of the administrative team were given. I don't know, Dr. Threet was there. I mean, I don't know if there were any other specifics, but we received no specifics. But you're exactly right in terms of the question. But I don't have an answer because nothing has been specifically communicated to me. And I have absolutely no problem sitting across from BEA representatives and hearing that. Or if they want to provide to me in writing what the specifics are, even though I spent 2 hours of time asking that, I'm more than willing to continue.
Well, I think it speaks volumes that it took a 2-hour meeting and you don't have answers, but yet you still don't understand where the breakdown is. You're
Again.
saying that you fully appreciate everybody and everything, and you don't understand where this vote comes from. The fact that this was a majority vote from the union, to me, I'm sorry, that says that you are not engaged with the teachers and the staff in the capacity that we would
For
anticipate.
clarity, it was an executive vote. I think I heard them say up here, but you can listen to the minutes and hear that. They can tell you how many executives there are in the union compared to the number of teachers. But again, that's not on me. And in any relationship, I don't know of any person that would understand what the concern is if the person on the other part or end of that relationship does not clearly communicate. Because the one thing that I don't want to do is to continue, as I stated in that meeting, to do the same thing over and over and over again, like in any language, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. So I shared in that 2-hour meeting, again, with no specifics, let me know what it is specifically, and we are more than willing to come to the table and have those resolutions.
Well, that would be very interesting because every single teacher that I have talked to in this district has stated that they don't have confidence in you.
Thank you. And
So-
I will share with you, as long as I'm completing my purpose, I don't ask for people to have confidence in human beings. I ask for them to have confidence and be committed to our children. And as long as the data, and it's under our goals, that states the accomplishments that we have made in this district over 3 years compared to 11, that is enough of clarity and confidence for me. Every time I sit before a student and we're making a change or a difference, that is my confidence. Yes,
Well,
I want to work collaboratively with individuals, but the data does not support the comments or the questions.
That's fine, but
Thank
I will
you.
speak for my own child.
Thank you.
And when I have to go spend external money for them to get a proper education, there's a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ms. Waters. It's regarding school concerns and goals. Ms. Waters?
My first question is, I understand if that's a policy now that we all have to sign in, but is there a reason why only some people have to sign in? Do we pick and choose who that is? Because I was the first person that had to sign in, but when I came in, there were 4 or 5 people already sat down. That's a problem. So don't have pick and choose who has to sign in here. We're gonna either level the field, or we're not playing childish games. I don't know why we have to sign in anyways. It's not kindergarten. My next question is I'm very concerned about the conditions of our school buildings. They're gross, there's rodents, there's leaks, there's missing toilets, there's doors not on stalls, and this administration and board always wants to say it's because of past administration and custodial crews and such. That is absolutely not true. I was in these buildings from the time my kids were in preschool till they graduated, and these buildings were, pristine is an exaggeration, but they were in good shape. Did they occasionally have a leak? Sure, they fixed it. There was never stalls missing, doors missing off the stalls, there was never toilets missing, there was never rodents that you could see in the lights. That is absurd, and I want to know what this administration is doing about that. That is unhealthy. It is not serving the best interest of the students, and if you're saying that your best interest is of the students, you're lying, because the buildings wouldn't look like this. So instead of sitting over in the new building that you guys bought, why don't you go into one of those buildings and sit with the rodents that are crawling across the lights and have your office in there? My next question is this board and administration planning on keeping students at the church long-term? Or is this only short-term until the new buildings are built, and then they're gonna be put back with the regular students? Because my understanding is we're paying a lot of money for that building for our students to attend.
Thank you.
Answers? No? Maybe?
Well, I guess I'm in alignment to what goal? The question was school concerns.
Students.
So the 2
schools-
goals that we have
con-
are listed on here. So,
Student achievement, I think, falls under all that. I think you don't achieve well if you have rodents and you can't use the bathroom. Can you imagine, when you go to the bathroom, do you close the stall, or do you just leave it open for everybody to watch
3
you
minutes are up.
do your business?
Yep.
I want to be able to close the door.
We're going to
So
go
do
ahead
our
and answer your
students.
question now.
So
Thank
those
you.
are,
We're going to go ahead and answer your question right now. Thank
so
you.
they're part of the goals.
um, Well, one of them is in terms of student achievement, but just as if I think we communicated that, I can't disagree with you that we need to address the needs of the whole child. It would have been nice to have the same level of passion when we tried to attempt to pass the bond, because we did talk about the need of the environment and the impact of that and
You
why
did
we
pass
need it
the
in
bond.
schools. Do you want me to answer the question?
The bond passed.
Again, to answer your question, I stated, it would have been nice to have the same level of passion. We had minimal people, you're right, it passed, but minimal support to pass that from the district. But I am very grateful and glad that it did pass, because we would not have been able to have that pass for the parents and the community members in Bedford, Bedford Heights, and Oakwood Village.
But that's not answering my question. I mean, what are we gonna do about the rodents and the problems that are the
Ma'am,
kids
you and I
are-
went through this in my chat and chew, but even though you didn't have these questions there, I will answer them. The question is, in regards to one of them, was about what had been done. And there were no leaks. I will share with you, within the first month of me coming on board, I had a meeting at the high school, and for the first time, I was told in several years, the leaky roof at Heskett was addressed. You're right. Absolutely no child should ever be sitting in a leaky roof, buckets, anything of that nature. I will tell you, during construction, you will have sometimes things that are coming, because we had a lot of fields behind Heskett. And to my understanding, I think Dr. Snyder has had conversations when it was brought to his attention about how to best address that. But I can't sit here, and I'm not gonna put, sugarcoat it to any parent. When we have construction and 100 old buildings, and you tear down fields, trees, any and everything is gonna come forward. But we will continue to try to address that stuff. Even, for example, the type of sewage that you get coming forward, some of the things that you see in the toilet, and the rodents. But
What
you're
have you
right.
done to do that? Have we had
Again, I'm not
exterminators
gonna
come
go
in?
back and forth with you. I'm gonna answer your
You're
questions
not
that you
answering
asked
it.
me.
You're not answering it. I wanna know what you're doing. No,
That's not the
I
answer
want,
that
the
you wanna
answer
hear.
should be what is gonna solve the problem.
Okay.
Did you put stall doors on the stalls?
Ms.
Did
Waters, if
fix
you send me an
toilets?
email, we can get those answers.
You won't
sent to
email. You don't even know how many students go to this school according to the email that I sent you.
I've addressed all your public records requests. Thank you. Next is Ms. Myers, and she would like to talk about the Excel program.
Good evening. I am here representing the Excel program, and I would like to express our concerns about our current accommodations for our students and staff at Mount Zion. We were given 6 classrooms to use for 9 teachers, an administrator, an administrative assistant, a counselor, and a nurse. We have 3 classrooms to share for our high school and middle school students, 2 for high school and 1 for middle school. When we have 15 or more students in the room, it is very difficult to conduct a class with our students that have needs that require intensive support. They are packed in like sardines. We are afraid that the temperaments of the students and the cramped space does not work well with this program. Because of the situation we are in with the space and the fact that we are in a church, some of our best students have decided to work virtually, and now these students are falling behind. Our administrator, administrative assistant, counselor, and nurse are all sharing one room, which does not allow for privacy when situations arise. We only have one working printer that was just set up, and after a week at Mount Zion, we were finally given a cell phone to use for making calls. We were promised that all electronic items would be ready to go before we started bringing students into the building. We do not have a way to get into the building unless someone is at the door to open it for us. We were told that we would have a fob or a code to use to get into the building without having to wait for someone to open the door. We don't have keys to our classrooms, so they are never locked. This is not only an issue for our students' belongings not being locked when we are out of the classroom, but it is a major security issue if we should have a problem and need to have a lockdown. A lockdown would be impossible since our doors do not lock. On weekends, our space is being used for Sunday school, and once again, any items that we have are not secure. We should not have to move our belongings every weekend just so that they are not taken or used while we are gone. I don't think that any other school in the district has this issue. During the day, we have seen people from the public coming and going from the Excel doors for activities that are going on in the church. This is also a security issue as they are in the building with our students who go through a metal detector every day, while the people from the public do not. Transportation is a major concern for our students. We thought that our walkers to the high school would have buses that pick them up from a bus stop and bring them directly to Mount Zion. These students are still walking to the high school to be picked up by a shuttle bus that brings them to and from Mount Zion. Again, this is something that no one else in the district has to do, and families are upset. The students are unsupervised while at the high school in the morning and afternoon since there is no one to make sure they are doing the right thing. The decision to move Excel to Mount Zion was made for selfish reasons and not the best interest of the students and all others involved. There are many other issues that we are running into at Mount Zion that do not make it a place that is conducive to learning. If more students are added as the year goes
Thank you,
on,
Ms. Myers.
it is going to become even more difficult to serve our students the way we have always served them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. And I appreciate the question. Some of them have been answered in previous board meetings, but we can review them. In terms of Mount Zion, I think the previous person did bring Mount Zion up as well. After I'm done, I'll let the treasurer talk to you. I heard that you talk about selfish reasons. I'll let the treasurer talk to you about the amount of money we're actually saving by having such a program. First, I also like to thank the superintendents that are in the room, because we do have a later item on the agenda to talk about. But when we talk about selfishness, I want to thank this Board of Education for supporting such a program. Because in this day and age, where we are losing funding in public education, you have chosen to be committed to such a program. 9 teachers. We have 2 intervention specialists, a counselor, 3 intervention specialists, thank you, 3 of them. I don't think that's going to help the case, but in total, you would be surprised as to the number of kids that are actually face-to-face. But hundreds of thousands of dollars are being committed to this program. It was communicated to me that by maybe 60 or so are coming, and I'm hearing a complaint about 6 classrooms. Ask other districts what they're doing for their alternative programs. This is an online program. For 60 kids in person, we have a principal, we have a counselor, we have 2 security officers, dedicated teachers. Teachers don't even have to come in like they were before for Compass prior to 3 years. There are dedicated teachers. You don't change from going back and forth anymore from the high school, because we work collaboratively with the high school principal to make this happen. There were sacrifices made. We have certified teachers, teachers of record, when other districts haven't done that. Not only do we have a face-to-face program, but we do have that online program. Yes, we have the PAW program, we have the BEAR program. So when we talk about selfishness, I don't see that from you as a board, and I want to thank each of you for supporting such a program. In terms of the BEAR program and where it's going to go in the future, it's been communicated several times that the state permits us to have a certain size of a building. Non-funded programs such as the Excel Academy and our preschool. So I want to make that very clear. Preschool will not be in the new buildings, which again, we had minimal support to pass this bond, but we still have included individuals in this process that were not supportive to be a part of passing this bond. But preschool won't be a part of the program in the new building, nor will Excel, because we only have so much space that the state has given us for the new buildings, based on the number of kids and the capacity that they have. And I think Mr. Ellsworth has explained that, as well as Dr. Schneider when he came out and spoke specifically to the Excel staff. So when we move into those new high schools, and you talk to anyone that has built a new high school, they're going to tell you a lot of things are going to change. You just feel the first level of impact of sharing space. But that everybody has their own room is going to go away. And that's very, very difficult when you have new buildings a lot of times at the secondary level, because people are not used to having that shared space. But we will continue, I think, Dr. Schneider, in terms of each adult having a locked cabin. If you don't have that, he does need to know, but it's been communicated to me that that has been provided. So if there's some other reason as to why there's a concern about personal items or something being taken, we do need to know that. We do need to address, Dr. Schneider, I'm hearing that in terms of the keys or the locks on the classrooms, we also had that issue previously for some things, but I can't disagree with you, but we absolutely do need to address that. But we do have 2 security officers as well. But again, there's not a 100%, proof plan, but we will definitely make sure that we work on that. Again, in any new building, when you move into those new buildings, I can't promise on day 1 everything is going to go right. Moving into a new building, just like you move from one home to the next, there might be times where you might have concerns with the cable or the internet. So yes, we are not happy with Spectrum, but Antoine has worked tirelessly to try to get things done. I'll turn this over to you, Taylor, to talk about the level of cost savings. But one of the reasons we're there at Mount Zion is we are one of the only districts, we don't have charter or private schools here. That facility, and I shared this with Excel Academy, that facility was built to have a private school. We took up all that space. That is the largest facility in Bedford, Bedford Heights, Oakwood Village, and Walton Hills that could possibly house a private school. In addition to that, the level of enrollment in Oakwood is down. And we felt like, why would we not try our best to continue to have children in our municipalities that also supported our bond? So not only while you have the children there, I don't know if people realize the amount of money that also goes to Oakwood Village by us having adults in that community. But I'll turn it over to you, Taylor.
Yeah, so what Dr. Johnson was speaking of is that if we were to lose a building like Mount Zion that had 6 classrooms with about 20 kids per classroom, each kid gets about $6,000 in funding that we would lose as a district, our state funding that comes from the state each year. That alone, by keeping Mount Zion occupied in the district for our program, saves about $720,000, and that's for 20 kid classrooms. Whereas realistically, they probably try to push it to 25, 30 kids per classroom. So by having an agreement with Mount Zion and having programs there, we are not allowing a community school to come in and take our kids and our funding for our kids. When she spoke about the BEAR program, these kids that attend the BEAR program, the cost for them to go elsewhere for these services run about $90,000 to $110,000 a year. So by keeping them in-house, that's per child, yeah. So by keeping these kids in the district, we are not paying other facilities to educate our kids at a cost of $90,000 to $110,000 a year based on what kind of needs they are. And that's not even including transportation, because we have to transport all of our kids. As I'm sure everyone knows, if you live in the district, whether you attend Bedford City Schools or anywhere else in the state of Ohio, we are responsible for transportation of these kids. So those savings don't even include that transportation costs.
There was a question about transportation in high school. We did actually, I don't want to speak to this stuff, but we actually gave transportation, I believe, to some that might not have received it or because of where we are, but that is one of the most expensive pieces of the pie that we have, and Bedford still transports high school, but we actually have communicated that to you, that that was in our written plan to the state, to go to state minimums. And if we do that, high school would not have busing. But again, I thank this board for continuing to see the importance of that right now. But that is something, not us, but that the state has talked about in terms of saving funds. They would like for us to cut that out for high school because of the cost.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on that, if we offer high school transportation, which we currently do, we can't pick and choose whether it's the kids that attend our district and other like non-public schools or community schools. It's an all or nothing. So by continuing to bus our kids for high school, we have to bus every student in the district.
Thank you. Are those all the questions?
Those were all the questions that we had.
Thank you so much. All righty. We're going to go on to Section 6, Superintendent Report. Before we have Dr. Johnson speak, we do, as she mentioned, have several superintendents in the building. I see two of them. I did see Superintendent Jolly from Warrensville come in. I see Superintendent Flora come from Maple. Do we have any additional?
Dr. Kirby, Cleveland Heights, University Heights, and Dr. Reynolds
Thank you.
back there from Garfield. I don't know if I missed anybody else.
Appreciate you all being
Thank you
here.
for coming.
All right, I'm going to hand it over. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Good evening, Board President, Vice President, and Board members. I have 6 items here for you tonight, and I know the superintendents, if you need to slip out after this. We do have a first resolution here that I'm really excited about. We've been working on this for quite some time. There's 4 of us in the room here. We're still going to work on you, Dr. Kirby. But we've been working on this new athletic league. Very forward thinking. I can't say enough, I'll be honest. I thank Mr. Jolly because you've done a bulk of this work. I don't know when you sleep. But we are establishing a new conference, and we're excited about that. We have come together, we felt, and I'll be honest with you, we've reached out to some other places, and we've tried to collaborate with some other districts. And unfortunately, they chose not to want to partner with us. But we did reach out to some others, but we will continue to have conversations and collaborate. But before you, I do have this resolution asking of your permission to be a part of the United Athletic Conference. And that conference, as you see in this exhibit here, lists the schools that will be involved in that, and I apologize for my voice, but it's Bedford, Garfield Heights, we have Maple Heights, South Euclid, Lyndhurst, and we have Warrensville Heights, and we also have Youngstown. So we've played many of these school districts before in various sports, but now we are actually coming together and to establish something that we feel that is very forward-thinking, as I stated. Not only have we talked about athletics, but we've talked about academics, we've talked about leadership, we've talked about professional development for our coaches. And as you can see, I think last year we actually had an event, the All-Star event, where many of us came together, and that was one of the first times that that had been held. And even though we weren't a league, we came together. Many times, more than often, I will tell you as superintendents, we don't just talk about athletics. I feel like I can call upon my colleagues to talk about anything. We have the same problems when it comes to public education, and I think when we come together in numbers, it's more powerful. So I ask of you tonight to support this recommendation to join the United Athletic Conference. Yes.
Thank you so much. All right, you have heard about 6.01. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the resolution as it is presented.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, seconded by Mrs. Turner Birch, that we approve the United Athletics Conference resolution as presented. Does the board have any questions regarding this or any comments?
I have a question and a comment. Is there gonna be continuous reach out to see if other districts will, once it's started and, moving forward? I mean, it's already started, but, once they see it moving forward, I'd rather our district be in a conference than not in one. And I do like it is comprised of our suburban, districts as well, but I would like to see others involved.
Yes, we will continue. I don't know if any of the others want to add to this, or JC, if you want to add anything. But we've been actually attempting and trying for over a year in reaching out to various districts. Meeting after meeting, call after call. We've presented to them, we've gone to board meetings, and we've had some very interesting responses. But I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think we will continue. I honestly believe once people see what we're doing and the progress we're made, we won't have a problem with that.
Okay. My other question would be, since it's only, 4 or 5 districts, will there
6.
still be 6? Will there still be other games added with other schools as well, so as to not have such a short season?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to speak to that, JC, but let me know if I missed something, but we still have to fill our schedules. So you always will have in-league and out-of-league games, to my understanding, but I'll let you speak to that, JC.
Thank you, JC.
You're gonna speak tonight, Jason.
Back again. Okay.
Yes, you are.
So, yeah, with having 5 other schools in the league with us, yeah, we have a non-conference schedule. So, for example, with football, you've got a 10-game regular season, so you're looking at 4 non-league contests. Actually, I'm sorry, 5 non-league contests and then 5 league contests. With most of the other sports, you're getting kind of like 2 shots at it, a home and home type of thing. So yeah, we will still continue to play schools that are not in the conference with us, and we'll still actively try to recruit. And like Dr. Johnson is saying, I think once we kind of get it rolling and people see what we're capable of, we're kind of a very unique show, and we're one of the only shows in town that are like we are. So I think that we're going to have a lot of people getting in line. Hopefully Heights will come back around to be a part of it.
Thank you. I know I'm probably putting the superintendents on the spot. Is there anyone else that would like to add to that and what, the benefits may be? Do you want to?
I'll just speak to it. I just wanted to say, I came to the meeting because we wanted to just,
Thank you.
sorry about my attire.
No, I'm sorry. And
Yeah,
you
we
came, I
let
know that you were with your son, so I apologize.
Yeah, my son had a game last night. He plays for Warrensville. He got injured in the game, so
Aw,
I've been with him all day at the hospital. But I do want to just appreciate Dr. Johnson and the team, Dr. Reynolds, Dr. Del Flora, for working with us on this league. As they shared, we really were trying to expand the league. Lake Erie League disbanded because teams left and went to other leagues. And we really were trying to get into other leagues. So we tried to get in the CBC conference, we tried to get in the GCC conference, and we just weren't able to get in the conferences. So we all came together to form our own conference. So along with the sports, we'll have cheerleading competitions, band competitions, academic challenges. We really want to expand it, not just esports, not just a sports conference, but a conference that entails all the different aspects so that we can really highlight our students. Also, one of the key things was academic player of the year, or we really want to do academics and support the students who get good grades and highlight them also. So scholar athletes will be recognized also. So I just wanted to share that because a lot has went into this, a lot of back and forth, a lot of trying to recruit people. Of course, we just don't want to be 6 teams. We want to be 10 teams. But a lot of times there's other factors that come into play why people don't want to be on our team. But we just have to prove that we are a good group of schools and that we're going to do what we say and have quality competition and make it so that people want to come and be a part of our league. So that's all I want to say. Thank you for the opportunity.
No, thanks, Mr. John. I think one of our non-negotiables for some people is we wanted to stay together. We have neighborhood rivalries, and we've been together. We're kind of some of the, the history of the LEL, and it was very imperative because we are so close and we do so much together that we didn't want to split up. So it was kind of like a package deal. So if individuals want to be a part of that, okay, but that was why we're also looking for individuals that understand that and the importance of that.
Perfect, thank you. All right, anything else? Mrs. Boynton, I know you were gonna say.
I just want to say thank you for your hard work and for working together. That's what we need more of, a lot of collaboration and some great people out there, great schools, and I'm so glad that we are staying together.
I've heard a lot of people giving kudos and excited to see how this goes, so I'm excited about it. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, 5-0. Thank you, board. Thank you so much.
And I appreciate, I know you guys have had your board meetings probably already this week, so I understand if you gotta slip out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, under 6.02, we ask of your approval of the following non-administrative personnel. You sure you didn't do that on purpose? Under 6.03, we ask of your approval of the following administrative personnel. Under 6.04, we ask of your approval of the following service contract. And under 6.05, we ask of your approval of the following construction contract.
All righty, thank you. So 6.02, non-administrative personnel. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the following for the non-administrative personnel items as they are presented.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, second by Mrs. Macklin, that we approve the following non-administrative personnel items. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, passes 5-0. Thank you, board. 6.03, administrative personnel. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
There a second?
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, second by Mrs. Macklin, that we approve the personnel recommendations as presented. Are there any questions?
I have a couple questions of concern. I'm all right with Ms. Black and Rakowski, their approvals, but I do draw two questions. One is Ms. O'Mara, and how long is she expected, it says substitute, but how long expected for her to be here, as well as what experience and where does she come from? Same thing with Mr. Michael May, because I do believe he's a principal in Avon Lake. And the reason why I'm speaking to this is because we want to say that we want to make sure that we also have a representation to our students. And if we are having new administrators come into our building, we want to also make sure that, the focus is towards our children. So I just had those two questions on those individuals.
Thank you so much. Could you clarify, first of all, answer Eva. Eva is, she's got tons of years. I can send that to you. She actually subbed in Twinsburg, I think last year as a principal sub. But she is here just like before, Miss Golden said at this time, she would prefer not to sub. She's just gonna assist us with our expulsion and suspension hearings, but it's kind of on an as-need. If somebody is out, we do need a list of subs. So it's not like she's here every day all year, it's on an as-need basis that we have them there. Michael May, his resume is in, you do have that. So whenever we have somebody that is a long-term, I ask Mrs. Carter, and she asked that I give that to you guys. So you do have that. If you scroll down to your executive content, it should be in there. He is a principal. He actually had some HR experience from Maple Heights. And I spoke to his superintendent. We've known each other for several years, but they are in some financial constraints, so they're going to be making cuts. So they were going to be laying off and making cuts anyways. He was there for many, many years. I did ask, I said, about the relationships. I said, I know, our union, you probably want to reach out and see how that goes because he is going to be over CTE. And so I had the opportunity to ask some questions about that, but he has high school experience, he has central office experience. Obviously, I think Dr. Threet would agree, CTE is huge, so there's always going to be something to learn, but his resume is attached there. She has agreed to let him come after the break because, again, she just won't fill a position at the high school because they already need to cut an administrator. So that will assist them to not have to riff someone, she said. What was that?
So what would he be facilitating as far as?
He's over the CTE.
So,
Yeah, based on the,
about,
right.
just retired.
Yes.
So,
But based upon,
is that the position he's filling?
yeah, but it's less in terms of the salary. When Dr. Threet, I don't know if you want to talk about that, Dr. Threet, and when you went down, I know you, to the state and talked about all the additional work that had to be done, that is a stipend. We tried to give a stipend for that, for Reggie, but, in talking at that time to the high school principal, you cannot be an assistant principal and do that job based upon all of the work that's entailed in that. And we now have, 14 programs, and they're booming. And so we need someone over that. We need someone overseeing, I think that the union would agree in terms of the evaluations and consistency and so forth.
Okay, thank you. I still draw concern with paying $350 per day when we have administrators making money sitting at home. That could be back in their roles. And
We've always had subs, so even if they're here, every year we've approved 3 subs.
we just approved, but Ms. Golden is not.
Yeah, she's not here, so we only have Mr. Lifford. So regardless as to who's here every day, they too are times where they need to be out. Like I have people coming up that they might have a surgery or something. We need to have individuals that are familiar. So I think we're lucky we had that posting out there for, I think, a while in terms of subs. And it's minimal in terms of who really has an interest. But this is an individual that people knew in the district. We got great feedback from the ESC as well. And like I said, she's done long-term sub jobs in Twinsburg and other places.
Okay. And then the last one, is this the place of Mr. Johnson, Mr. Travis here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I will tell you, we are looking at cost again, so we will be talking to you a little bit more in terms of administrative cuts and some shifts and so forth. So we'll be able to talk to you guys about that. That were in the written plan that we had to do every year.
Thank you. All right.
Also had another question.
Yes.
Can you explain the 2 stipends? Are these duties that they already have been doing, or is this something new that they're going to be doing?
Yes, remember we cut the gifted administrator, which was 6 figures, and we cut the ELL person as well. So we went from 6 figures for each of those positions to 7,000. So Aaron is picking up an extra duty as well as Mary Catherine.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Thank you for those questions. Can I have roll call, please?
Yes. Sorry. Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Thank you, board. Passes 5-0. We're now on to 6.04, Service Contract, Executive Director of Academic Achievement. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and second by Mr. Akins that we approve the service agreement as presented. Are there any questions?
I have a question. Why do we need a service agreement if we're giving a stipend for gifted learners to Aaron Black?
That's a great question. I don't know if you want to speak to that, Dr. Harrington. Because this will be a short term, I think.
Good evening. As Mrs. Black has taken over that role, you still have to have somebody certified, and as she works to that certification, partnering with the ESC from Western Reserve allows us to have the support through PD and training from somebody with the certification, because we also identify and serve our students. So you have to have that certification, so she works
she's
towards it.
working towards that certification, so this is only gonna be for a
Short.
temporary time period?
Correct.
Yeah, most districts, I think as you kind of hit on the nail, you don't have to serve,
Correct.
but we are choosing to not just identify, but to also serve. And I think that's something that Bedford has done a great job at. Many districts that I talk to, they're identifying, but they're not serving. And so that is what will determine whether or not you need that certification or not. And Aaron has agreed to do the work to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what about the cost of $750 per day? Is that a group, or is that one person, or how is that distributed?
It could be a couple different individuals that could be supporting us. What we'll be doing is working with the ESC of Western Reserve to identify how many days of service that would be based on the identified need, working with Mrs. Black, and then also the teachers identifying what training they may need, professional development.
So it's not 5 days a week then?
No, no.
It's
It could
set
be,
needed.
yes.
And they can
So-
send out a couple of people to go out into the field. to
Correct.
do
So
the
as we sit down and talk, we may say, you know what, we understand, and this is just a random number. I'm not saying this is the number. But if we said we need 40 days, that would be in total, and then we would identify what that looks like throughout the remainder of the year.
Okay.
So, and that's going to the organization, billable to the organization, not to each individual that may be
Correct.
sent out.
Correct.
But however, they each will be given mileage reimbursed?
in the
Said
contract,
mileage
yeah,
will
they
be
Yeah, in the
typically
contract,
hourly.
yeah, but
So we pay their mileage as well, or is their organization gonna pay their mileage? Because according to
Out
this,
of
mileage
this.
will be invoiced separately at the standard IRS rate, just like 70-something cents a mile.
yeah, so it, similar to us as a district. So if I went somewhere, I could get my mileage, so it'd be the same thing. So they could bill us separately.
So if 4 people came at one time, we paying mileage for 4 people,
It's not gonna be 4 people. That's why I said it's gonna be 1 to 2 people. We've already identified that.
but one or more than one though, we'll be
Correct.
paying each individual's mileage.
I don't foresee 2 people coming on site at the same time. The reason we're working with 2 people is because they have other districts that they work with.
Gotcha.
So if person A can't be there, person B would be there.
And you said this is only temporary until Mrs. Black gets her
Correct.
certification.
And how long does that certification take? Because I don't see term as far as length
I
of
couldn't,
time. It's
I
not
can get you that
stipulated.
information. I don't want to speak to that because, again, that depends on how Mrs. Black would.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, and this is not on Aaron at all, but my question, when you get hired to a new role, they'll say, obtain something within 90 days,
Mhm.
or obtain this certification within 6 months, or something like that. Are we placing a,
That hasn't been discussed, like, there's been no stipulation on that
Okay.
for her.
Thank you.
I just know that the conversation that I had with Ms. Black was, she felt that this route was the quickest way to get it done. And her dedication to also ensuring that we get I think also the WEPs done, and there's a lot of things that go into it to provide that support to the staff. But she felt that this would be not only the most fiscally responsible, but also the quickest way to do that. And I would also like to say for her and Mary Catherine, they agreed, because they know where we are fiscally, not to go up on a different pay scale.
That's why the stipend.
Yeah, that's why the stipend, that they chose to do that, because they understood where we were.
So my final question, what have we been doing with gifted up till now? Because I do understand Mary Ann Root was over gifted services, and she's now in the classroom as of this school year. So have we stopped gifted services or serving or what?
So Mrs. Black has still been working with the teachers. Again, state requirements, you have to have somebody with that certification on file.
Got it.
But the work hasn't stopped.
Okay.
The work hasn't stopped.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Great questions. Roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 5-0. Thank you, board. 6.05 is a service contract for the Executive Director of Operations. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve service contract as presented.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mr. Akins and second by Mrs. Boynton that we approve the service contract for the work at the maintenance building to be done.
And I don't know if you want Dr. Schneider to talk about this, but also, one of the things that, I apologize, I didn't answer, because I did hear this again about the new board office. And I think we just need to send a reminder that when we originally went to the community, the budget that we presented was $5 million to have a brand-new board office built and attached to the middle school. We were able to find a building that was vacant from a business, because after COVID, the individuals worked from home. That was over half that cost. So it was already in the budget for 5, but we did not feel that that would be fiscally responsible or right to take that amount of money from kids. We felt the money should be going directly to student instruction rather than administrative offices. So I did want to just continue to communicate that and why we are where we are in relation to the budget. So the other $2 million will go back to the new buildings and the needs of those new buildings.
Dr. Schneider?
Good evening. So thank you for your consideration of this contract. This is for the repurposing of the maintenance garage. This is specifically for a firewall that would go from the offices and the classroom in the front of that maintenance garage, and that would separate from the actual garage. So the city of Bedford Heights has been wonderful in their collaboration. Mr. David Bell especially has really been integral in helping us to move through this process and find solutions. So we met with Bedford Heights leaders on site. They stated that if we did a firewall, they would approve occupancy for that space for Autotech to move to that building. So this is part of that process. I really feel strongly that this is a great long-term investment and commitment in terms of the footprint of the district, because we will always need some type of space for our maintenance staff, even though it's gone down in size over the years. It's always going to be critically important. And at the same time, we can use this space for the Autotech program for decades to come. And this is part of that investment in the building to make that happen.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Dr. Schneider while he's here?
I did want to add one thing, that this construction we paid with PI funds, which is a fund specifically for purposes like this. So
I'm glad you said that, because that was about to be my question.
I thought so.
Where is this $85,000 coming from? And how is it being paid? And so can you elaborate on what this PI fund is?
yes, we receive, I believe it's $1 million every year of our tax collections reserved specifically for the PI fund, which is the 003 fund. And this fund is kind of specific. We can pay back debt. We have some debt, TANs that we took out about 10 years ago. We pay half of that fund for, we get about $800,000 in that fund. Half of that goes to debt that we're currently paying off. The other half we can use for projects. In the past, we did stuff to renovate the COS program. We brought it back to the high school. This year, we have not touched it yet, but this is a specific purpose that we can use those funds for. They have to last, I believe, for at least 5 years, the project, which this project will last more than 5 years.
So is PI an acronym for
Permanent improvement.
permanent improvement?
I'm sorry,
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Treasurers use acronyms so much that we kind of forget
I
what
know,
we use
that's
them.
why I want to make
Yeah,
sure
yes.
everybody
Permanent improvement
understands
fund.
what that is. Okay, and so we used PI for the COS program,
In the past, yes.
when we pulled it, that's what we paid for to have this
That is correct.
remodel, correct? Okay, and so we get this funds every year, is that what you said?
Every year, we get it with our property tax collections. The county kind of tells us how much money we are supposed to deposit in the PI, Permanent Improvement Fund.
And how much did we receive this year?
It's around $800,000 roughly.
And so is this a carryover too? So this
We can carry-
86 roughly gonna cost for this, so is that a carryover, or we can apply this in any capacity?
We can carry over these funds each year, but these are specific for a purpose of permanent improvement, so you can't use it for salary, benefits, classroom supplies. This has to be, your specific project fund, things that we identify that's gonna last 5 years or more. We could purchase school buses out of this fund, trucks for maintenance and stuff like that. So it is limited to what we can use it for. And like I said, right now, about half of the $800,000, we are paying back a tax anticipated note issue that was done, I believe, in 2019, I believe. So once that is paid off, we will have the entire $800,000 each year to our disposal.
Can we also use this funds for an extermination? Because I'm
We
hearing
cannot.
we're-
No, those are purchase services.
But we already have been
Okay.
exterminating. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but that's why I said it's
Yes.
going to be an ongoing, we have to keep doing it because of the amount of construction that happened.
Okay.
That's accurate.
And can you speak to the doors too? Can we add doors with this money
Yes,
or
of course,
something,
yeah.
too?
So we had one complaint that went to the Ohio Department of Health for mice at Heskett. So we had been putting out traps at Heskett. I met with a representative from the Ohio Department of Health there a few weeks ago. We toured the building. He had, I think, one specific recommendation, which was to put a trap in a corner as opposed to just along the wall, because the mice like to stay in the corner. We have had a monthly service from an exterminating company, and they provide the traps, and then, we obviously replenish them. It was perhaps last week, also a phone call for Glendale, so we called the exterminator, made sure that we had enough traps, so that's a continual process. And
I
there's,
think, because, someone from the building called, and then they come out.
Correct.
But to my understanding, you said that, like, they were pretty pleased about what we were doing, but talked about moving the trap from here to here, because there's not much we can do.
yeah, so that went well. It's not uncommon to have mice in school buildings. We just made to make sure that we're doing the right things, and he felt like we were, but there was the one recommendation to be able to put it in that specific spot, which is certainly not a problem. In terms of the doors, did receive some pictures relative to Heskett and the restrooms and some of those stalls not having doors. I was unaware of that. That's obviously an issue, so we are going to prioritize those restrooms over winter break at Heskett. Chelsea Mealy, who's referenced in the board notes, we met with the custodian. We're going to walk the building again tomorrow and kind of go through that plan over winter break about what that's going to look like and the timeline for that. And then we will be sure to revisit that conversation with all of our custodians to make sure that that's part of their checklists. We have reinstituted weekly checklists with our custodians. That's more recent upon my arrival in August. So that is something that we will make sure that we communicate explicitly and ask them to check at each building, and then let us know what they need, any kind of support they need to make sure that we take care of that.
And I think, Dr. Schneider, we talked today that there previously were recommendations to make some cuts in terms of cleaning our custodial staff, but you felt that Heskett, we were very slim. And there's no way that one person during the day, can keep up. And I feel like that would be a benefit based upon what you had communicated.
That's accurate. There were some cuts at Heskett in terms of cleaning. And overall, whether it's mice, whether it's some of the toilet issues that we've talked about the doors. Honestly, I feel like we have a willing and capable team. I think we just need to continue to spend time to get on the same page. So I referenced the custodian. I don't want to make it sound like it's a custodian issue, because it's not. It's a district level issue in terms of making sure that everybody's looking at the same things and that we have the communication back and forth. If they have an issue, they need a supply, that we have that process in place. I think part of what we're doing this evening with that supervisor is critically important with that work, because we've had only a lead foreman in the past. And with the size of the district and the number of the issues that we have, to have the executive director and then a lead foreman, that lead foreman is really the team captain. They're not the supervisor. They can't do all those things. We need somebody who can be in the field consistently and provide that support and make sure that the communication is happening. It's honestly not realistic for an executive director to be in the field daily in that capacity. So there are some cost savings associated with that change, but I also feel that that's a significant long-term commitment from the district in terms of creating the systems and the structures. And I hear the frustrations. I understand the frustrations. I was extremely frustrated when I saw some of the photos that were shared. So I'm absolutely sharing that. Absolutely believe, and I'm putting my name and my career in it and on the line with it, that we are going to get to the place that we need to be, but it's going to take time. I feel like we've made some really good progress, and we do have the team that's in place. We've also been, it's not an excuse, but we've also been extremely busy moving a number of different things and trying to get the auto tech program operational, if at all humanly possible, by February 1st. And those are all extremely intensive lifts. So that's not an excuse, because we can't deprioritize the concerns that people have had, but there's also triaging that takes place and some systems and structures that we're putting in place to address all those things, and I absolutely feel confident in saying that we are going to get there.
And I will say we had previously had a similar position, but again, I think we can all agree, some of you have sat in those auditor meetings, what they think is a reality and what we should cut. Sometimes we make those cuts and we're feeling the pain of that because they're not here. They're not living it every day. And so sometimes we have to go back and say, okay, well, we can't do this, but we're going to do that. And that is what we've chosen to do, to see how that will work. So we had to make cuts in other places in order to be able to afford to be able to bring such a position here to be able to do this. But that's one of, the frustrating things when they're like, oh, cut busing, but that then creates a different problem that you have to deal with.
Yeah, they also recommended pay to play, and we have not looked at that at all either. So that's what the auditors, they don't think about the community or the people, they just kind of tell you to do things, and we have to make the decisions to do it.
Any additional questions? This is a lot of good information that you're giving us. So we are moving the auto tech, and you're saying hopefully by February 1st that will be open and going strong.
Yes, the goal is February 1st. That's an extremely aggressive timeline. The city of Bedford Heights has been wonderful in their collaboration, but there's a lot of obstacles take place to get this firewall ready for your approval and your consideration, and architectural designs and making sure that it had all the things that were required. We're going to be moving some auto lifts, 4 of the vehicle lifts, to that location. We're working on the offices up front and some of the lighting. There's a lot. That's why we had the auction not that long ago, so we're opening up the space and the square footage. So it's a pretty intense project. February 1st is an aggressive timeline. This is a big piece in being able to do that. We also need to add an eye wash station, and there's a little bit of electrical work that needs to happen in order for the vehicle lifts to operate, but we're moving as quickly as we possibly can.
And one of the reasons we have to have that program here is, again, going back to, we can only afford so many locally funded programs. And so they call programs such as auto collision a high bay program. So there's no way they could reconstruct that. I mean, they actually had a lot of positive feedback about where Frank's program is and, and everything that was there. And so Carl, kind of looked around and then said, well, what about maintenance? Because it already had a lot of the features that we were able to utilize, as well as we already own that property.
Yeah, I can't imagine a more fiscally responsible way to continue that program in the future and offer the number of seats that we currently offer. The value of having that in-house, and it's kind of out of my wheelhouse, it's Dr. Threed oversees CTE, but having that in-house is close to priceless, because you have up to 24 seats for juniors and then for seniors, as opposed to if we had to go to a consortium and we have maybe 4 seats per grade, that's obviously just a fraction. So having owned the building and then having to make a decision about the long-term footprint and having the PI available to do it, to me, really, that's that opportunity to invest in the long-term footprint of the district in a way that's going to benefit
And the firewall is the only thing, because I thought it was communicated that that building was such in a dilapidated state, that we were trying to find someplace else to put it. So I'm also just making sure
Yeah.
that if we're utilizing it, is it just a firewall, or are we
Yeah,
actually
so
doing more than?
it was communicated to us that the mold and the roof and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you want to talk
Sure,
about the
yeah,
level of
absolutely.
inspection that went into that.
We had a resolution for the roof repair, minor roof repair, not that long ago. But when I came in, the building had been vacated. There were concerns about the structural integrity of the roof. So we had a roofing company come out, and they actually put in a letter that it's structurally sound and safe. And for a vendor to do that is not something that they want to put their name to unless they feel confident. We had a different roofing company come out, which is partnered with the Ohio School Council, so they're a highly reputable roofing company. They felt the same way, and they are doing short-term repairs, actually, hopefully, starting on Monday and Tuesday, to get the roof buttoned up so the building is dry moving forward. And then we're going to go through the bidding process with them over this winter to replace the entire roof, which is a significant expense. It's probably going to be at
To
least
replace what?
the entire roof,
Um,
which will be expensive. That'll probably be in the neighborhood of $300,000 or more. So it's a commitment. The alternative is to kind of let the building go. And it's really not going to be worth much with a leaky roof, or if we have to demo it first and then try and sell it. So there was water, or there is certainly as of today, water in the building. We started taking out the exterior kind of aesthetic pieces of the wall to look behind there. We had an environmental company, Pardee Environmental, come out and test the office spaces and the wet spaces and give a report about the safety of that. And they stated that we can demo that and that we can clean it up. We have special chemicals for that. So we are doing that according to their specifications, and then we're going to have them come out and then test the air quality before students would enter the building. So again, complicated process. There's a lot going on. It is a commitment. The roof obviously needs to be replaced. The athletic building also needs to be replaced. That's in process. So some significant commitments. There's water damage. We had it tested. We're going to have it tested again when everything's done. There's some electrical upgrades. The panel can support those upgrades, but we have to run wires to where the vehicle lifts are going to be. And then adding that eye wash station is relatively minor in the scope of the things that we're talking about. So there's quite a bit. But again, that's the long-term commitment for that program. And as I had said, maintenance is always going to need some type of space. It's about a little under 12,000 square foot garage, which they don't need a 12,000 square foot garage, forever. So sharing that space, dividing it up with the program, we think is the most fiscally responsible way to check 2 boxes at the same time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any additional questions?
One final question.
Please.
Since we're about to go into this winter break, can we request prioritize the issues with the bathroom stalls and stuff? Can we work to get that done since the buildings will be pretty empty for a couple weeks?
Absolutely. So we have specific plans to prioritize Heskett over break specifically. I'm going to walk the building tomorrow and go through exactly what that plan is, because we know that there's specific issues there. And then from there, the next step is to go to each building and categorize all those things that we need to do. And absolutely, we could see what we can get done at all of the buildings over break, but definitely Heskett, and I talked to one of the parents today who had raised the concerns. We are committed to doing absolutely everything we can between now and January 5th to address as many of those things as we can.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so go ahead and,
We can We can, answer
Circle
that
back.
after, but,
Circle back.
yeah, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Thank you.
Mr. Akins? Sorry. Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
I'm gonna say yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, passes 5-0. Thank you, board. We are now on to the treasurer's report. Go ahead and take over. Take
Thank
it
you,
over.
Board President, Madam Vice President, board members. Tonight, I have 3 items. First one is informational only. It's my report for the month. I don't know if Gary's able to share, but for the month of November, our revenue is trending $1,621 favorable compared to the forecast, and our expenditures are $624,260 favorable to the forecast, which is, if we continue this trend, it would be a positive cash balance of $625,881. This still makes our cash balance lower by $1,890,383. That is based on us forecasting to deficit spend, which we currently are from last year. If you look a little bit lower on page 4, you'll see that revenue was actually down for the month of November compared to last year. Part of that is because of our lower cash balances, we are receiving less interest revenue. And also the Fed has cut the rates a couple times. I looked just this morning, our money market account is at 3.5% interest, and Star Ohio is under 4 for the first time in quite a while, a little over a year. So as those interest rates continue to be cut and our cash balance isn't as high as previous months, we will not capture as much money in interest revenue. With that being said, revenue is up for the year, $535,000. And then if you look at actual expenses for the month, we're down $1,369,000. That number is a little bit misleading. Last year in November, we had it was a 3 payroll month, so we had an extra payroll, which about accumulates to $1.3 million. So, yeah, so that number, it looks great on paper, but there's reason behind it. So you'll see that our salary and benefits right there, $1.4 million and change. That is that extra payroll in the month of November. Yeah, so that is my report for the month of November. 7.02 is approval for requesting property tax advance from Cuyahoga County Budget Commission. We have to do this every December. They advance funds in January. I am legally required to ask for your permission to receive these funds in January, so this has to be done every December. It's a kind of a routine thing. And then 7.03 was like the other one earlier. This is for Dante Calaluco. He took over the workers' compensation program for the district. This program didn't really have a home for a while. We had thought of putting it on one of our specialists, but with the restructuring we just currently did, that position is no longer with the district. Dante has been doing this program for quite a while, but now it will remain with him, and he's doing a great job managing it. We are really addressing concerns by the Bureau in a very timely manner, things that I don't want to knock anyone who handled the program in the past, but we're just doing it correctly now. So those are my items for tonight.
Thank you so much. All right, 7.01, our treasurer's report. That was just informational, but are there any questions?
I did. So in comparison to last month, in which the revenue was at 901,459, And you did show that it was lower this month with the 535,079. So that $366,000 is probably around the difference. 366, 8 something, I think is what 380. What attributed to that difference
For the,
in revenue?
so, to get the question straight, you're asking last month's revenue, what we received and had compared to this month?
Yes.
Some of that could be timing. You know, like I mentioned, part of it was the interest. You know, our cash balances are lower, interest rates are being cut. Seems like every month now by the federal government. So I think they just cut it 0.25% last month. So that contributes to that. But yeah, it's mainly just timing and then those other outside factors.
Okay, and also the expenditures increased, I see.
For
Oh,
this.
wait, no, they actually were lower. They were lower, I'm sorry.
But like I
was
said,
flipping through the
that's
wrong
because we
one.
had
Okay.
3 payrolls last year at this time, and then last October was our 3 payroll month. Because we get paid on a bi-weekly cycle, so it kind of ebbs and flows when it's going to hit.
Gotcha.
We are currently, OPSI did approve to go to 24 pays. We are hoping that we can continue that with BEA and administration. So if we are on a 2 payroll month, we won't have months where you'll see differences in numbers like that. It'll make our forecast even more accurate.
Got it, thank you. And also, thank you for updating the red box for the negative.
Thank you for noticing.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none. All right, 7.02, resolution for requesting property tax advance. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and second by Mr. Akins that we approve the resolution requesting property tax advance. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes, passes 5-0. Thank you, board. 7.03, administrative personnel. May I have a motion? No, we're not done yet. This is the work of that.
This one.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and second by Mrs. Turner Birch that we approve the stipend for classification administrative personnel. Any questions?
One question, is this, again, another, in lieu of a salary to have this stipend made?
That is correct. We like to do this as a stipend and not increase the salary overall.
All right. Roll call?
It's Ms. Boynton,
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Ms. Macklin,
Yes.
Ms. Carter.
Yes. Thank you. Passes 5-0. I just want to say, Dante, thank you for all your hard work. You've had a lot put on you the last couple of years, so thank you and keep working hard. All right, we are on to new business, old business. We have 8.01, recommendation to add supervisor of maintenance, building and grounds to classified administrators to administrative leadership team contractual agreement. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It has been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, second by Mrs. Macklin, that we approve the recommendation as presented. Are there any questions?
So we're saying they're classified positions right now, and we're gonna add them to the administrative leadership team?
So they're classified administrators, so we have certified administrators, classified administrators. This position aligns with like the IT director, transportation supervisor, and security supervisor. They are a classified administrator, so they pay an SCRS for pension, and then also their start date for a contract is 7/1 versus certified, which is 8/1. So it's just kind of like a technicality of their classified administrator role.
Does it also change their days?
They are 260s employees.
They're already 260.
Yeah, they continue to be 260.
And it won't increase salary, though?
It won't, this position did exist in the district. When we eliminated it, we kind of crossed it off out of the book. So this is just adding it back on, almost like uncrossing
So
that
why did
position.
we eliminate it and now we're putting it back in?
We kind of talked about it earlier where with the one plan, the district written plan, that we were going to try to go with just a foreman and not have a supervisor, but the foreman cannot perform the roles of a supervisor because that is an OPSI position. So kind of after seeing that, we saw that, we do need this position, so we looked for cuts elsewhere to be able to bring this position back to the district.
So I think it was in the maintenance, a couple of positions were cut.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the overall cuts, offhand, I believe, were $35,000 to the plus to the district from the restructuring that we did.
So we're pulling these from positions where we're under OPSI to now administrative leadership team.
No,
They're
no,
no
no.
longer under the
No,
union?
no. This position would not do any OPSI duties.
That's what I'm saying. So it's taken, they were under OPSI and now we change it
No,
over?
No.
Okay.
It was dealing with the specialist administrators and then administrators as well.
Like, this was already in the book for several years. We crossed it out when it was a part of that written plan.
Right.
But as Carl stated, like, that was not working. So then we made cuts in other places in order to be able to bring this back.
We pretty
Like, we're
much,
still keeping the foreman because you can't take a union job and give it to an administrator. So you
Well,
still,
that's what
yeah.
okay, so that's what I'm questioning. Okay.
this came from two specialist positions, which are at-will employees. And we eliminated the one and then moved the one to this position because we recognize her skills and abilities.
Any additional questions?
Thank you.
Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
I'm gonna say no.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Passes 4-1.
Yeah.
Not that we can go back, I just wanted to clarify, this was Chelsea's position that you already voted yes on.
So why are we doing this backwards?
This is to add it to.
Back to the
this is
book.
to add it back to the books. So
Okay.
not the position, but to add it back to the book, so we can have that position listed.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, thank you. 8.02, organizational meeting for 2026. Motion to set the date, time, and location of the organizational meeting and first regular meeting of 2026. We are looking at January 8th, 2026 at 6 p.m. for our organizational meeting at Heskett Middle School Auditorium, to be followed by our regular scheduled meeting. May I have a motion?
I am so sorry.
You're fine.
Motion
I thought it was secretary, not supervisor.
Have a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Macklin, second by Mrs. Boynton, that we approve the motion to set the date. So the date that we currently are looking at is January 8th, 2026. That would be the Thursday, second Thursday, because the first is the January 1st, at 6 p.m. at Heskett Middle School Auditorium, and the meetings will be held there for the near future for all board meetings, and then our regular board meeting will then happen after our organizational meeting. Any questions regarding that? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, 5-0, thank you, board. 8.03, President Pro Tempore. Can I have a motion to elect a president?
Oh. Motion to elect the president for the organizational meeting. Pro Tem.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton and, I'm sorry, motioned by Mrs. Boynton, second by Mrs. Macklin. You are confusing me. We elect a president pro temp for the 2026 organizational meeting.
I have a question. Do we have to do that now, or we're just having the motion now
We
to
just
be
have the
able
motion
to
that we
do it
will
on
be able to.
January 8th?
We would have to elect the person tonight. This person will open
Yes,
the
okay.
meeting as the board president until the election for the calendar year
And it cannot be the
26.
president, am I correct?
It can be any member of the board. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, be any member, so it could be the,
It could be the
Current
president.
president.
It could be the current president, yes.
yeah.
It would have to be someone that would be at the meeting on January 8th.
Oh, I got you.
Yes.
Yes. All right. You want to do it?
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
I make a motion that Angelique remain the pro tem for that meeting,
just for the
Second that.
organization.
just for the organization
You
meeting.
said your second? All right, it's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton that, and I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
It
Ms.
has-
Carter.
How do you, so do I need to do the motion that it's, or do we just say?
Do we
it's-
have any other,
Do we have anybody else?
Oh, I don't.
No, okay, so it's.
so then we just take the roll call and then we'll be.
All right, motion by Mrs. Boynton and second by Mr. Akins that myself will be President Pro Temp for the organizational meeting in January. Can I have a roll call?
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes. Thank you, Board. 5-0. Speaking of next meeting, I want to say that we have 2 board members that will be missed tremendously. This is their last meeting. That would be Mrs. Turner Birch and Mrs. Macklin. She's smiling a little too hard, I was like, but no, you definitely will be missed. I've had an eventful 2 years with you both and have enjoyed every bit of it. So thank you for everything over the last 2 years. We do have our 2, well, we had Mr. Akins re-elected in, so congratulations to you. And then we have Mr., oh my God, I know we have Chris and Montez. I could not think of y'all's last name. Callender? Yes, Callender and Morton. Yes, I had a brain fart for a second, but no, congratulations to the both of you for winning the election and being board elected. Cannot wait to work with you. Appreciate it. Would you, either one of you like to say anything tonight, or you want to wait till January 8th? Sounds good. Yes. Uh-oh.
Okay, I do have something to say, so I will be leaving parting words. So I want to say good evening. As this is my final meeting as a member of the Bedford City School District Board of Education, I want to begin where I always have, and that's with gratitude. Serving this community for the past 4 years has been an immense honor. I am grateful to the families who trusted me with their hopes and concerns, to the students whose brilliance and resilience inspired my advocacy every single day, to the educators and support staff who continue to pour their hearts into their work, and to community members who believe deeply in the potential of Bedford. I am grateful for the challenges that strengthened me, the conversations that shaped me, and the opportunities to stand for what is right, even when standing alone was the only option. I have worked diligently. I have shown up prepared. I have asked difficult questions, and I have made every decision with children, not politics, not personalities, at the center. However, stepping away from this seat does not take away my responsibility to speak honestly about what I have observed and what this community deserves to know. Over the course of my tenure, I have grown increasingly concerned about the direction of the district's leadership. I have observed decisions that do not align with our stated values and that have negatively impacted families, students, and staff. I have raised concerns about inequitable treatment and disproportionate disciplinary practices affecting both educators, students, and administrators. I have listened to educators who felt overwhelmed, unheard, or dismissed, and I have witnessed disciplinary actions that lack clear rationale or consistent application. To be clear, this is not about differences of opinion. Healthy disagreement is normal and necessary part of governance. What I am describing are sustained patterns that undermine trust, disrupt stability, and fail to consistently place students at the center of decision-making. One of the most concerning examples involves the disruption of our high school leadership team. For more than 3 months, our high school administrators have been removed from their buildings, separated from their students, and left without clarity under what has been described as an ongoing investigation. In my experience, and based on standard governance and personnel practices, an investigation should not take this length of time, particularly when the result is prolonged instability for an entire school community. The impact is clear. Our high school is struggling, not due to demonstrated administrative failure, but because leadership continuity has been interrupted. Administrators were separated from their roles under circumstances that raised serious concerns about fairness, consistency, and the integrity of the process. Our students deserve better. Our teachers deserve better. Our administrators deserve better. The board has a responsibility to act. Based on my observations, the superintendent's leadership, including decision-making processes, communication practices, and personnel management, has contributed to the instability we are experiencing. These actions have fostered confusion, diminished trust, and raised concerns about equity. Despite repeated concerns raised by educators through a formal vote of no confidence, administrators through written communications, families through public and private feedback, and repeatedly by me at this table, there has been no meaningful or sustained course of action or correction. There comes a point when silence becomes complicity. There comes a point when going along to get along becomes a failure of governance. And there comes a point when this board must exercise its authority rather than defer it. Therefore, as my final act as a board member, I reiterate what I have previously stated, now with even greater urgency. I am calling on this board to place the superintendent on administrative leave, initiate an independent investigation, directly hear from affected administrators, and thoroughly review the concerns that have been raised over an extended period of time. If such a review substantiates these concerns, then I believe it is up to my colleagues on this board. Leadership is not about convenience. It is about courage. As James Baldwin reminds us, ignorance, allied with power, is the most ferocious enemy justice can have. So with my term ending on the 31st, I leave this seat, but my work, my voice, and my commitment to this community do not. Thank you.
Ms. Sharon, do you have anything? All righty. Does anyone else have anything they would like to say before we close?
I would just like to say happy holidays to everyone.
And have a wonderful break. Did you want to say
I
something?
just want to say,
You want to speak?
leave me alone. This 4 years has been an experience for me. I worked on the outside for, I say maybe 37 years altogether, and now I'm on the inside, and I wanted to see what it was like on the inside because I did so much on the outside. I'm going back on the outside, and I'm going to continue doing what I do for the students. So I just want to thank everybody who trusted me and gave me this chance to be here. Thank you. Happy holidays.
All righty, so next meeting will be Thursday, January 8th, 2026 at Heskett Middle School. And we will, organizational meeting first and then our regular meeting. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Boynton, seconded by Mrs. Macklin, that we adjourn. Roll call, please.
Yes. Ms. Boynton?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Turner Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Ms. Carter?
Yes, have a wonderful holiday.